Guys, welcome back. So following on from our video we released, it was just yesterday on the tee height video, we get some great feedback from you guys about the sort of practical application and the way you guys can utilize that to obviously make an impact immediately on your own games. And Matt and I were just chatting and we were talking about the influence of ball position having a similar effect, and we feel that maybe it's something that's a little bit misunderstood for a lot of people. So we're going to work through some sort of 7-iron, mid-iron. Yeah. We're going to work through a long club off the ground, and then we're going to go to driver, obviously long club off a tee. And we're going to talk about all the implications of angle of attack, how angle of attack, or how ball position influences angle of attack, path, face angle, strike point, trajectory. All these things are tied together.
What doesn't it affect at this point, right?
In sort of motion, that golf club is ever changing in the way it presents itself. So as it comes down closer to the ball, it's rotating, it's gaining loft. Yep. It's going from, obviously open to close like we know. It's going from down to up. There's always things happening in motion. And I really believe that there's a lot of times ball position can be the key to hitting more solid shots.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is it as simple as moving the ball position into the right appropriate zone, hitting zone, to make all those other numbers match up?
Totally.
We're going to discuss that a little bit today. And I've got a little trick up my sleeve for you as well.
Okay.
I'll be surprised.
I like a surprise.
Okay, let's hit some 7-irons as well.
Okay, so what order do you want to go in?
Let's go...
go high, medium, low? Or forward, center,
Let's
back?
go, ball position forward, ball position mid, ball position back.
Okay, perfect. I'm probably putting this a solid 2.5 balls forward of my normal position.
I like it. Good. Angle attack is a little shallower than you normally are. Yep. Path is super neutral. Definitely a higher flight, wasn't it? 134 feet.
So a very high 7-iron.
Mm-hmm. So here we're talking to the shallow divot taker. We're talking to the player who feels like they struggle on windy days. The ball is up there, it's exposed, it's soft in flight. Sometimes the player who has that flight thinks it's a spin issue because they feel like they put the ball up there and it's exposed. It's really not a spin issue. It's a height issue. Yeah, so your golf ball is sort of heading up there and it's exposed. That's not terribly high in spin. It's not low either. No. It's okay. So we see a fairly shallow angle of attack, Matty. For a 7-iron, that's very on shallow. The shallow-ish end. There's people who are more shallow. Mm-hmm. There are people who are maybe 1 or 2.
So the things that I think you called out when we were just getting ready to film, you were saying the face is going to be a little more closed, which it is. It's going to be very neutral path. It's going to be less steep. You're going to have quite a bit of dynamic loft. Mm-hmm. All of that stuff happens. Yeah.
So as we position the ball in a different area, obviously we are going to have different delivery dynamics. So as we move that golf ball further back, the path will become more into-out. Mm-hmm. One of the things I always do in fits, Matty, is if I see someone, so commonly, I see the player who's struggling with the ball position forward. The shoulders end up, really, really tilted because of that. We move their ball position back. Totally different. Realigns the shoulders. All of a sudden, they've been getting lessons for 2 years trying to get the path into out. Well, moving the ball position moved that path into it immediately.
Because the super far forward ball position is the typical little bit over the top slice position. Because it opens your shoulders up and the ball's way up in there and it's coming across. Exactly.
So for the lefty golfer, you're trying to hit it down the right wing so it comes back, and that's why you default to getting so open like that. When in actual fact, what you need to do is give the club face a different message. Yes. You need to give it the message, okay, club, the CG, the mass, the golf club is moving out that way. I need you to go the other way. I need you to rotate in order to, get some corrective sort of rotation to bring that loft around.
Yeah, it's cause and effect. So if I swing way across the ball, I have to leave it open.
Yes. So the nugget there is slicers try to get that ball position a little further back. Mm-hmm. Now, when you bring it further back, you can still tilt a little bit. You don't have to sacrifice, your angle of attack. You can change your tilts, but try having that ball position a little further back, and it should help you with your path.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's see how that works with the next one.
Let's go into 7-iron, and it's Neutral ball position.
Neutral ball position, yeah.
That is ideal. 95 miles an hour, so it read the speed slightly differently, but more importantly, dynamic loft delivered lower, fully expected that.
Wow.
Dynamic lie, not much of a change. Face angle was more open.
So that path got more in to out, exactly what you said it would.
Exactly as we thought it would, and the club moved more down.
Great.
So
that's what we expect.
Exactly as we kind of thought it would be. And let's look at the ball flight sort of implications on that. Launch came down. Spin was a little bit less.
Yep.
As we would expect. That's nice.
That should be good, I think.
That is nice.
Good strike.
So there's our ball position forward. Obviously high, soft, medium in the middle, and the blue is obviously the flattest. Adjusting launch more than spin.
Interesting.
Spin not really shifting a whole lot, not really shifting the carry a whole lot. The reason for that is the difference in obviously launch conditions, higher with a little bit less spin is good for carry.
Yes.
This is good for sort of overall control, and then this one's good for sort of distance, but you know we're basically hitting it with a club less.
Of course, yeah,
right?
you're
So
de-lofting it.
Yeah, the difference between the ball being forward and the ball being back, that's why the player who has the ball positioned forward, the high dynamic loft, doesn't ever realize, like, this is who the modern day iron's made for.
I know.
This
because that's an 8 iron, isn't it?
That's an 8 iron.
That's really true.
And then the difference here, I mean,
That's a 6 iron.
We're 2 clubs in delivered loft sort of between those.
That's very interesting.
So into the face angle though, isn't it interesting to see the face is obviously more open.
Yeah.
As the path is more into out, as the club is moving down more.
Very cool.
So all of those things are so tied to one another that as the club moves, as the ball position moves forward, you get less steep.
Yes.
As the ball position moves forward, you get more neutral. And as the ball position moves forward, you get a more square face.
Interesting.
That just moves all in that pattern all together. Okay, so that's how they're all tied in order to produce an ideal flight.
This is awesome.
Okay. Right, let's take a look at the 3-wood. This will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's got to be
Should be
pretty
really
darn
good.
Eh? All right, Matty boy. So there's your sort of standard ball forward fairway wood. This is the player who tops a bunch.
Yeah, because they're hitting up on it.
They're hitting up on it. You know, you can see how close you are, literally to the sole of the club hitting the ball there.
Yep.
The golf ball, the golf club has came down, reached low point, and it's on its way back up again when it collides with the ball. You in this instance have done a lovely job of controlling the path and the face.
Yeah.
You've tied those together, so that's why you obviously had no issues with the ball flight. So
it could have been a pole if the face got a little closed.
Yeah, predominantly, with that, you might see the player who gets that going too much up. You could see a bit of an out to in scenario. So as the club is moving upwards, it's also moving
inwards.
Sort of, back to the right. That looked nice. A bit more height.
It's a pretty good ball, yeah. I think that's quite nice.
Neutral position for the 3-woods. We saw it forward, flew quite high. There's the loft came down. Face angle was more open, as we would expect. Path was more to the left, as we would expect.
And
so
a little more down on the
bit
ball.
More down. That's a thing of beauty.
That's perfect. Oh, geez.
That is a thing of beauty.
100 tries, but it's good.
On the delivery, still the same amount of downward.
Yeah.
You had to make an adjustment within yourself to create the neutral path. That for you was opening the stance.
Yes, it was. Yep.
And feeling like you're going to slightly come across from out to in.
Definitely.
Tied with that was the face angle. So we discussed that first one, how neutral that was. We loved that one, but obviously because we delivered so much loft and we hit it low in the head, it was no good.
Yes.
So on the ball speed obviously went up.
Yeah, spin's a better window too.
Up, spin regulates. Everything's good about that.
Really cool.
Let's hit some drivers. Lovely, lovely. Strikes a little down.
Perfect.
Out to in, open face, little fade, excess loft. Good with all of that. Little excess spin. That's nice.
That's a nice drive, yeah. Okay.
That is really neutral.
A little bit into out, a little bit more up. It's pretty across the board, isn't it?
Right across the board.
Just a lower, flatter flight, less loft. So we got 3 degrees more into out and 1.5 degrees less up.
Correct.
Face slightly more open.
Yeah, something fairly close to that for you.
That's, yeah. It's about as good as I can do from that tee height.
Head speed's very similar. Dynamic loft is less. Face angle is open. Path is more to the left. So across the board, I mean, I think that's such a good example for people who are struggling to control those ball flight
Absolutely.
parameters, how that changes just purely with the ball position. And it's kind of one of those unexcusable things, like I think we talked about that a little bit in ball and tee height, because it doesn't require motion. It doesn't. The variables are just you choosing where to put it.
It's exactly. It's under your control to have the diligence to take your time teeing the ball up or positioning it within your stance. And I think it makes a lot of sense to at least take a quick photo or video of yourself, because a lot of the time I'll think my ball is back. It's not back.
Definitely.
And you've said that to me. You said that's not really back. Go further.
Yeah.
So a second set of eyes I think is pretty helpful to confirm this, or have some kind of system with alignment sticks that lets you, I guess, do it exactly the same each time.
Couldn't agree more. So guys, this is hugely valuable towards creating more solid shots. Okay, hope you hung in there with us on that one. Ball position's a bit of a tricky one, and anytime we're going to try and, Matty's got his work out doing some great illustrations for this one, because I think you guys can really obviously visualize once you see the illustrations of how that sort of 3D motion makes the golf club change in its path and direction. So hopefully you can take it. Hopefully you can get out to try it. I know ranges is going to be a little bit of time before the ranges are open, but get out in the course and play with your ball position. I think it will lead to some pretty great results.
Definitely.
Excellent. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon.